If you're gonna watch superhero movies, don't put a mask on your fucking face. And if you wanna be a superhero in life, you need to understand that for 80% of the movie, you're gonna suffer. For 80% of the movie, you're going to lose. Watch any superhero movie. For 80% of the movie, it is nothing but pain and frustration and difficulty. And when your life is that way, you have a chance to grow into something fantastic, and you should thank God for every difficulty. Think about a superhero movie. A man is unfairly imprisoned in a Romanian jail cell and trained so hard he emerges stronger than ever before. That is a movie. You get to live a movie as a man if all you had was some balls. Even you, think about your movie. You're literally saving the world, predicting the future. Our movies, I'm the most Googled man alive. We are living movie scripts. Why? Because we have bravery. Most men sit there and wonder why they're depressed because you don't get to live a movie. You're not the main character of anything. You're not even a secondary character in anyone else's movie. You're an unimportant nobody because you were afraid your entire life. You've lived like a coward your whole life. You were afraid of what might happen if you have some balls. And then you wonder why you're depressed. I'd be depressed if I was you. Of course, your life sucks. I'd rather go to jail as me than live free as you. Because when you're free, you can't even do anything. You can't go where you want, you're broke. You can't have sex, girls don't want you. You can't speak because no one listens. So what are you free to do? You're more in jail than I ever was. When I was in jail, I was getting thousands of love letters from beautiful women around the world. Every single tweet I put out was watched by millions of people. I wasn't in jail. Most of these people who have lived with cowardice in an attempt to preserve their freedom aren't even free. And that's what they don't understand. They're enslaved worse than I ever have been or ever will be. My mind is free. I'm allowed to think what I want to think and say what I want to say. They have thoughts and they go, don't know if I should say that. They second guess themselves. They're their own worst enemy. Every single part of me is on my team. I have enemies who want me dead, fine. But every single part of me, my mind, my hands, my legs, every single part of me is on my team. My body doesn't second guess itself. My mind doesn't turn on itself. We don't break and self-sabotage. There's no civil wars inside of Andrew Tate. All of us against you, all of us.
If you look at anything that builds a man into a man, there's a degree of suffering. So many men say, I want to be the man, but they don't want to suffer, they don't want to fight, and I don't understand why, because even if you look at a superhero movie, they tell you, even in superhero movies, they make it very clear, Batman's parents died, that's why he's Batman. It's very hard to become a man and have a man who's respected and has stories and is capable when he only had a nice life and nice experiences. It's usually the things that made you the best version of you are usually the worst things that happen to you. All the bad things have to happen. There's no way to get there without the bad things. Where do you find the strength when you're in these difficult situations? I always find the strength from my last name. I'm Andrew Tate. I'm Andrew Tate, so I just have to do it. I'm in a Romanian jail cell. I wake up, there's cockroaches in my bed. They're all over my face. What am I gonna do, cry? Am I gonna go and sign a piece of paper and say I'm guilty? I'm gonna sell my brother out? No, I'm gonna take the cockroaches off my mouth. I'm gonna do some push-ups, because I'm Andrew Tate. When shit really gets hard, honor and courage and bravery and your last name is all you've ever had. Especially with men, none of them are bestowed with the things that the masculine essence needs to be a good man. You need pride, you need honor. Matrix Media, they say, why did you get so big? Because I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, which every man knows is intrinsically true in his heart, because God has instilled him with a basic degree of morality of right and wrong. I'm saying things to a 17-year-old boy and he's going, he makes sense. I get it. Everything I was told so far just didn't quite click, but this does. And that's what they're so scared of. I was talking about this the other day. I was talking about how I have a pet peeve, and one of my pet peeves is painkillers. And I was being typical me, and I was going over the top. And I was discussing with this guy. This guy said, have you got any aspirin? I said, there's no aspirin in my house. And he said, why? I said, brother, you are not facing 1% of the life difficulties I am facing. Think about it. No government's trying to lock you up. The Matrix isn't after you. They're not trying to frame you. Nobody wants you dead. When God finally gives you a tiny headache to give you something to show you're half a man, a little bit of resilience, you pussy out and take an aspirin. Can you just have a headache? Just have a headache. And not only just have a headache and don't mention it, because I don't care. So don't even talk about it. Nobody needs to know. What do you want? Do you want therapy? You want sympathy? Nobody cares you have a headache. Shut up. Like nearly any problem on earth, whether it's men's mental health, whether it's women's mental health, no matter what it is, whether it's crime, no matter what it is, how do you fix the problem? By building men of caliber, by building men of capability and status and honor and dignity, and by building men of ability to be good, standing citizens who are respected by their peers. All of it comes back to improving men. All of it. Every single problem you can possibly name, it comes back to building strong men of capability who are respected. That's all. It's the baseline of humanity. Men always has been the baseline of humanity. And that's why nearly every problem we can name, all of them are in a direct negative correlation with masculinity. As masculinity plummets, all this garbage is going up through the roof. Is that a coincidence? Absolutely not, really not. It's you can literally see it with a graph, and you can see it happening. Saving the way men think and operate, growing a new generation of men who understand they have duty to themselves, their last name, and God, literally saves the world. All of it.
Women respect men who stick by their principles and their beliefs, and the principles and beliefs of a man are always to do what he is supposed to do regardless of how he feels. You must train when you don't feel like training. You must protect when you don't feel like protecting. You must be a good man. And when you're actually a truly good man and a high value man, this is something I absolutely realized in jail. I have no problem suffering if the people I love are not suffering. My children are taken care of. The women I love are taken care of. My mother is taken care of. Everybody around me is fine. Even if they've removed me from my life and locked me in a jail cell, everybody I love is taken care of and is protected and is living good. I must suffer because I am a man. I am the head of my empire. I'm the head of the clan. Of course I will suffer, but the people I love are not suffering. This is what God has bestowed upon important men since the beginning of time.
Not just important men, all men. The men in the Titanic as the boat was going down, about to be sucked into the icy cold water, some of the last thoughts in those men's head, I know, was at least I saw my daughter and my wife get on that boat.
Absolutely.
I'm happy to plunge into this ice cold water because there they are on that boat, away from danger. Everyone we love and everyone in the world who we care about was taken care of. And I said, Andrew, would you rather us both be at liberty, but someone else in our life suffer? Mom suffer? Our kids suffer? The mothers of our children suffer? No. I'm glad it was me. I'm glad I was the one who was suffering and everyone else was okay, because that's what being a man means.
When you're a man, absolutely, you're right. It is our job to suffer so the people around us do not suffer. And that's why if you're a man and you're waking up every day and you're not trying your very best to be important or upgrade yourself or upgrade your character, or you're lacking motivation, then you have a serious problem, because it is your job to be capable of dealing with the insurmountable pressure which God is going to put upon you so that when you suffer, everyone around you does well. Our lives are set up that even if they throw us in a dungeon today, everybody we love will be okay forever. And that is what's most important. That's the most important thing.
That's success.
And that was absolutely comforting in jail when we discussed that and we said, everyone we love is okay. You and I just have to make it through this. And that's absolutely and utterly comforting. And if you're a man sitting at home right now, you need to sit and say, okay, if they plucked me from my life, if they picked me up and threw me in a room and locked me in a jail cell,
which can happen.
Which can happen to anybody, especially as they continue these matrix attacks on masculinity as a whole. Would your wife have a roof over her head? Would your children eat? Would your family be okay? Think about these things. This is what you're working for. You're not working to make money so you can buy a Lamborghini. You're working to make money and you're thinking outside of the box and you're becoming your best version of yourself so all the people around you will always be okay no matter what happens. It is your job as a man to suffer. And we did our job fantastically, absolutely and utterly, as we should.
We always will.
And we always will. And everybody around us was okay. And that is extremely comforting in times of hardship because we're built for suffering. We were absolutely not built for suffering. No matter how close I came to crying inside of that jail cell, I knew all the people around me were safe and all the people around me could eat. And that's all I cared about. I used my phone calls. When I would call other people and they were asking me how I was, I'd say, we don't want to talk about me. How are you? Are you okay? Are you okay with the media pressure? Are you okay? Are your bills paid? Do you have money? Can you eat? I'm in a jail cell in Romania making sure that everyone I love is okay. I don't need them to sit and worry about me. I worry about them. I sat in a jail cell making sure I could fix the problems for the people I love outside in the free world from a dungeon. That is what a man does. And you must prepare and set up your life for that. You must be prepared to be plucked from life. And understand that everybody around you who once relied on you will still be relying on you even when you sit in that jail cell. It's still up to you. You are still the man of the household. You are still the top G of your life. Only you. And if you don't pay the bills, who's going to do it? Your wife's just going to what? Go get a job, get like 5 jobs and raise your kids? How's she going to do that? You must be prepared for these things. That is what you're working for. So if you wake up every day as a man and you say, I don't have motivation to become strong, I don't want to work hard and get rich, I don't want to try and become financially free, what you're saying is that the second you disappear from your matrix controlled job, everyone who loves you and respected you and relied on you is going to starve? How can you live that way as a man? Absolutely and utterly unacceptable.
I think we're here to struggle and to learn. I don't think we're here to be happy. That's why when we keep going back to the happy argument, I've always found that kind of frustrating and annoying. When someone goes, oh, but I want to be happy. Why? Why do you want to sit there and laugh? Like you were happy your entire childhood. That's your happy days. You're allowed to be happy as a kid. It's all over now, right? You're a man. You have responsibilities. I think we're here to do important. Provide, protect, and we're also here to do important things. And important things are going to be difficult, and they're going to be hard, and you're going to get frustrated. But that's what gives you purpose. I don't see anyone who's chasing happiness. I think that's a very feminine frame. I understand why some women just want to be happy. I don't know how it feels to be a girl, because I'm not one. But in my experience, I know women who just want to be happy. Girls just want to have fun. Fine. But you're a man, right? And if you're a man, then it's absolutely an utterly different experience of life. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to endure pain. I think we're here to just see how hard we are to kill. I think that going through terrible things and living through them and coming out the other side is one of the most fantastic things about being human. I think that it's almost like once you understand what life is really about, there's no emotion which isn't enjoyable. The only emotional state which can be seen as detrimental is feeling nothing at all. But if you're sitting at home and you're feeling truly heartbroken, at least you're feeling something, right? And I think that's the whole part of being human. I think we're here to struggle. I think we're here to go through pain. I wake up each day and go, what can I attack? What problem can I solve? And look at history. Why did Genghis Khan wake up and want to conquer the whole world? Why did Napoleon conquer the world? Why did Alexander the Great conquer the world? You just wake up and just say, give me this, I want all of it. I need to, there's an army there, they're really big. We're better. It's intrinsic. You need to go and conquer. That's the purpose of life.
You believe that God created us, so why did God create us to struggle? Like, what is it?
Because if you don't struggle, you don't learn. God created us to learn and understand ourselves and understand other people and understand the world. And what did I say earlier? I said that you don't learn a lesson or you don't appreciate something without pain. So you have to struggle to learn anything. There's only two ways to learn things, the hard way or the harder way. If you're smart, you can learn the hard way. But in my experience, 99% of the planet only learn the hardest possible way. If the lesson's even 85% effective, they'll make the same mistake. It's only when they completely decimate and destroy an element of their life do they sit there and go, oh, oops, now I get it.
But you're not stupid. You know what's going to positively impact your life, what's going to negatively impact your life. My life was built off the back of anger. I was too angry to sleep that I was broke. That's how I got rich. I was too angry to sleep at the thought of losing. That's why I trained. I was completely built on anger. And I channeled it all in the right direction. I have no criminal record. So I'm never going to tell anyone not to be angry. I'm going to say make sure you put it into something worthwhile. If you're genuinely pissed off, and I mean genuinely, think how much energy that is. That's a little ball of force. I'm pissed off. That's it. Fuck it. That's it. I'm doing this today. I'm finding a way to get this done today. That's good. What a lot of people do is they pretend they're angry, but they're not. Oh, I'm angry, but really I'm just miserable. I feel sorry for myself. Now that is negative. That's never going to help. But if you're genuinely angry, then you have unlimited motivation. The very baseline of masculinity, if you were to say to me, what is a man? My answer would be emotional control. That is the very bottom baseline important thing to be a man. But as a man, it's emotional control. If you cannot control your emotions, you will never ever be shit as a man. Do you think the men on the Titanic weren't controlling their emotions when they waved goodbye to their children and their wife? They were scared. But did they cry like babies? No, they froze to death like men. Emotional control was the bottom line of masculinity for the entirety of human history. Until the last 30 years where we said to men, if you feel a certain way, you can be that way. Oh, look, incels are stabbing people because girls don't want to talk to them. Oh, look, crime's going through the roof because people can't handle being disrespected. I wonder where this comes from. It comes from telling men to not just fucking have enough mental control to go, you know what, I'm going to get the fuck up. Or I don't feel like doing X, but I'm going to do X because it's my duty to do X. As a man, you're supposed to be scared and not show you're scared. This is the bottom line of a man. If you don't have emotional control, you're not a man anymore. So this whole promotion of mental fragility is also just completely destruction of manhood. You're not a man if you give in to your emotions. You're a man. It's your job as a man is to be a man. So it's more about duty and honor than how you feel. When you live life as a man, it has very little to do with how you feel. You can live life as a woman and do what you feel. As a man, you don't do as you feel. If I feel happy or I feel sad, I have the exact same productive ass day. That's how I live. No matter how I feel, I get my shit done. Because that's what you're supposed to do as a...
If you want to stand out, if you want to be different, if you want to be the kind of man who can talk about himself in a way and be discussed by females in a way that other men can't be discussed, you need to go through some bullshit. You're never going to become interesting and unique and the kind of man that can't be replicated through all the happy things in your life. You can't just go to the fucking circus and eat popcorn and come out and be a G. You're a G when you've suffered. That's the reality of it. Every single man you meet who people respect, both men and women, usually has a story that makes you think, ooh, I wouldn't want to be that guy. Ouch, that would have hurt. That was difficult. That's the reality of it. So God gives you these chances to suffer so you can level up your character. But I'll often tell you, most of you people at home which are complaining that your life is difficult, I'll actually argue that most of your lives are too easy. Even though that God gives you these chances to level up and God gives you these difficulties, most of you, 99% of you, need to adopt more difficulty yourselves. I mean, you need to wake up and find more struggle yourself if you truly want to be a fierce competitor. And this is where, again, it goes back to leveling up your character and your network and who you are as a man.
And I would argue you have an opportunity to be very, very, very happy. I was just as happy when I was broke because I felt happy climbing and trying to get somewhere. I had this vision of where I wanted to go. That shit should be fun to you. If you can't get excited about the man you're gonna become, you're in deep, deep shit.
That's the best motivation in the world.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of contentment that comes from doing the things you're supposed to do. It doesn't even, people say it's the journey, not the destination. That's true. But I wake up and if I have a day where I've worked as hard as I can, I've trained and done all the training I'm supposed to do, I've spoken to all the people I'm supposed to speak to, I've eaten right, I've done everything right, I feel happy just from doing the right things. You do the right things over and over again, you're gonna end up in the right place. It's all building blocks. You should feel good from just doing the right things regardless, and you'll end up there on accident. Life is actually very easy to succeed in, and I get all the questions we've been asked so far today and all the questions we get asked in general are basically different versions of the same question. How do I achieve X? And the answer is always going to be hard work. It's always going to be the sentence and the saying I use over and over again that people think is a joke. Unmatched perspicacity and sheer indefatigability. The ability to pay attention, notice things, and never quit. That's all it is. Pay attention, notice things, and never give up. And if you do that, you're going to succeed. It is so easy to be successful in life. When I meet a person who's not successful, I have to analyze, why did this guy decide to quit? What was more interesting to him than being the man he could have been? Was it food? Was it that one chick who broke his heart and just ran him around for years? What was it that distracted him from his life purpose of being something that mattered?
Weed, porn,
garbage. And then in the end, you only end up sad. All these temporary happinesses, they don't last long. You can have temporary happiness for what? A day? A week? You can eat cake, it'll make you happy for 5 minutes. If that. You can't delay gratification to have genuine happiness. All genuine happiness has to be delayed. It has to be, you have to go through the pain first. I am so addicted and so accustomed to constant struggle and war that the idea of living without it is almost daunting to me, because I don't see the point of being alive. What are you doing then? Waking up, were you just smiling all day? Eating happy meals? Where's the struggle? And this is from a man who's literally just got out of jail and is looking at a bunch more jail he doesn't deserve, which is a struggle, both physical and mental.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, yeah, my life has always been a struggle. That's all I've ever known. I can't imagine it being any other way. And I'm still not trying to change it. I'm not trying to retire and vanish and disappear and just live easy. It's not something I'm even interested in. It doesn't even cross my mind. Once you adopt that mindset, how can you not be successful? I have to train, because if I don't, I feel too guilty to sleep. Once you get that mindset, how can you lack motivation? Motivation's free and unlimited. It's discipline and purpose is more important.